That tin of fish sitting in your pantry right now, the one with the royal crest and the Norwegian heritage branding, is not what you think it is. Corporate deception on a massive scale. Heritage claims that don't match reality. Production moved to foreign countries, while labels still scream Nordic tradition. We analyzed 7 of the most popular Nordic fish brands sold worldwide. We examined ownership structures, production facilities, and supply chains. We investigated what these companies don't want you to know. We tracked where the fish actually comes from, who really owns these heritage brands, and what decades of Baltic Sea pollution mean for the products on your plate. What we discovered will change how you shop forever. These are the Nordic fish brands you need to understand before buying another tin. And by the end of this video, we'll show you which brands are actually worth your money. Number 7. Fangst, the premium Danish artisan brand. Beautiful minimalist packaging. Prices ranging from 45 to 60 Danish kroner per tin. That's roughly $6 to $9 for a single can of fish. Fangst, which means catch in Danish and Norwegian, launched in Copenhagen in 2018. The marketing is impeccable. Nordic heritage, sustainable sourcing, botanical smoking techniques using wild aromatics like heather, chamomile, and juniper, cold-pressed organic rapeseed oil instead of imported olive oil, MSC and ASC certified seafood. The founders talk about reconnecting with nature and slowing down. It sounds perfect, but here's what the beautiful packaging doesn't tell you. Fangst is a private label brand. They don't catch fish or operate canneries. They contract with co-packers in Denmark and Latvia. The sprats are caught in the Baltic Sea and canned in Latvia. The mussels come from Limfjorden. The salmon comes from Faroe Islands farms. The botanical smoking and distinctive recipes are genuine innovations, but the underlying production model is contract manufacturing with premium branding. The Baltic Sea has a documented contamination problem. European Food Safety Authority studies show elevated dioxins and PCBs in Baltic fish. These persistent organic pollutants accumulate in fatty fish and have been linked to developmental issues, immune system disruption, and increased cancer risk. The Swedish Food Agency warns that children and women of childbearing age should limit Baltic Sea fish consumption to 2 to 3 times per year. That warning applies to any product using Baltic fish, regardless of how beautiful the packaging looks. Fangst uses smaller, younger fish, which contain lower pollutant levels. That's genuinely good practice. But at $6 to $9 per tin, are you paying for superior quality or Copenhagen design aesthetics? The products taste good. The sustainability certifications are real. The recipes are distinctive. But understand what you're buying. Marketing forward seafood at premium prices, not fundamentally different from what larger companies offer at lower price points. Number 6. Oscar's surströmming. Now we enter truly unusual territory. Surströmming is fermented Baltic herring, and it's one of the most notorious foods on the planet, not for safety reasons, but for its extraordinary smell. Scientific measurements have confirmed that surströmming produces one of the most pungent food odors known to exist, stronger than Korean hongyeoho, Japanese kusaya, or Icelandic hakarl. Videos of people opening cans have generated millions of views online. Oscar's surströmming was founded in 1955 by Oskar Söderström in northern Sweden. According to company history, he spent years perfecting his fermentation recipe before launching commercially in 1966. Today, Oscar's is one of the major surströmming producers, selling their distinctive cans worldwide. Here's how surströmming is made. Herring are caught in the Baltic Sea during spring, before spawning. The fish are gutted, salted in strong brine for about 20 hours, then transferred to weaker brine solutions where they ferment for several months. Lactic acid bacteria break down the fish glycogen, creating the characteristic sour, intensely pungent product. The fermentation continues even after canning, which is why surströmming tins often bulge dramatically. The fermentation can cause pressure to build so intensely that opening cans requires careful technique to avoid being sprayed with fermented fish liquid. But here's what the tradition doesn't tell you. The Baltic herring used for surströmming contains dioxins and PCBs at levels exceeding European Union maximum limits. Sweden has maintained a special derogation, an exemption from EU food safety limits, since 2002 specifically to allow continued sale of contaminated Baltic fatty fish within Swedish borders. When Oscar's surströmming ships internationally, those regulatory exemptions don't automatically follow. Consumers in Germany or the United States buying surströmming online may not receive the same health warnings Swedish consumers see. The dioxin levels have declined since the 1970s but remain elevated. Larger, older herring accumulate more contaminants. The fermentation process doesn't eliminate these pollutants. It concentrates them as the fish loses moisture. For most consumers, occasional surströmming consumption probably poses minimal risk. The product is eaten in small quantities, usually once yearly during the traditional festival in late August. But pregnant women and young children should exercise caution with Baltic fatty fish. The cultural experience is genuine. The tradition dates to the 16th century when salt was expensive. Oscar's continues authentic production methods in Sweden's northern coastal regions. The product delivers exactly what it promises. Just understand the contamination context that Swedish authorities acknowledge but international marketing often omits. Number 5. Kalanuvos, a Finnish family-owned company since 1975. Kalanuvos has grown into Finland's largest fish processor with turnover exceeding 160 million euros and over 300 employees. Their subsidiary Martin Kala is Finland's largest Baltic herring fillet producer. They operate the largest smoked fish facility in all Nordic countries. They control fish farming operations through Nordic trout with roughly 30 farms. This is industrial-scale fish processing disguised as traditional Finnish production. Here's what the family-owned branding doesn't emphasize. Kalanuvos is vertically integrated. They control the entire supply chain from farming to distribution. When you buy Kalanuvos products, you're buying from what their own materials call the largest operator in the Finnish fish industry. Their Baltic herring comes with the same dioxin and PCB concerns we've discussed. Finnish authorities provide consumption guidance for Baltic fatty fish. They produce both branded products and private label products for supermarket chains. The Kalanuvos branded fish might come from the exact same production line as store brand fish. Same factory, same processing, different packaging, different price. The company holds legitimate certifications: BRC Food Safety at Grade AA, MSC and ASC certifications, ISO 14001 Environmental Management. These represent real standards, but consumers should understand what family-owned means at this scale. The Hukkanen family built a fish processing empire with a 160 million euro turnover, producing over 20,000 tons annually. That's industrial operation, not artisan production. Number 4. Orkla. Now we enter massive corporate territory. Orkla ASA is a Norwegian conglomerate with roots stretching to 1654 when they operated pyrite mines. Today, Orkla is listed on the Oslo Stock Exchange with over 21,000 employees and annual turnover exceeding 50 billion Norwegian kroner, roughly $4.5 billion. Their portfolio includes Abba Seafood, Stabburet fish products, and various herring and anchovy brands like Grebbestads, Glingur, and Denja. They acquired Abba Seafood and Procordia Foods from Volvo in 1995 for $578 million. Yes, the car manufacturer once owned Swedish seafood companies, then sold them to a former mining conglomerate. In 2014, Orkla Foods Sverige merged 3 companies, including Abba Seafood, into a single entity. When Swedish consumers choose between different herring brands, they're often choosing between products from the same Orkla-owned production system. Here's what Orkla's scale means for consumers. Pricing power. When one corporation controls multiple competing brands, competition becomes theatrical. Different packaging, different prices, same corporate parent optimizing profits. Supply chain efficiency. Orkla sources fish globally and processes wherever offers best economics. That disconnects products from the local origins their heritage branding suggests. Marketing sophistication. With billions in revenue, Orkla employs professional marketers crafting brand stories. The The Swedish grandmother's herring recipe imagery might be designed in Oslo by people who never touched a fishing net. Corporate consolidation can improve food safety through better quality control. But consumers deserve to know that heritage Nordic seafood brands increasingly operate within massive corporate structures, optimizing for shareholder returns. Number 3. Röda Ulven, the Red Wolf. Sweden's leading surströmming brand, established in 1946. The name comes from Ulven, Wolf Island, the spiritual homeland of Swedish fermented herring production. The island's red Rapakivi granite creates the color reference. Röda Ulven dominates the category. Their eye-catching red wolf packaging is what international customers receive when ordering surströmming for viral challenges or genuine culinary exploration. Here's what the leading brand position doesn't tell you. Röda Ulven operates in the same Baltic herring supply chain as every other surströmming producer. Same waters, same contamination issues, same EU regulatory exemptions. Being market leader means superior marketing, not different fish. The fermented herring from Röda Ulven, Oscars, or any producer comes from the same Baltic Sea fishing grounds during the same spring season. Processing follows the same centuries-old methods. Differences between brands are subtle, involving brine concentrations and fermentation timing rather than fundamentally different products. Röda Ulven commands premium prices for brand recognition. A 400-gram tin might cost $50–$60 shipped internationally versus $35–$45 for lesser-known brands. You're paying for reliability, not unique ingredients. The dramatic smell creates entertainment value exceeding culinary appeal for most people. Millions watch challenge videos of people gagging when they open cans. That viral spectacle drives sales far beyond traditional consumption. Röda Ulven profits from every disgusted YouTube reaction and every bachelor party prank. Traditional Swedish consumption involves careful preparation with flatbread, potatoes, sour cream, onions, and dill. In this context, surströmming becomes genuine delicacy. The prank market and traditional market represent different consumer bases. Röda Ulven serves both. And before we continue to the next brand, which honestly reveals the biggest deception in Nordic seafood, take a second to subscribe and click like. It helps push this investigation to the people who need to see it. Let's go. Number 2. ABBA Seafood. Most people hear ABBA and think of the pop group, but ABBA Seafood predates those musicians by over a century. The company traces origins to 1838. The name comes from AB Bröderna Ameln, abbreviated to ABBA, registered in 1906. ABBA is synonymous with Swedish herring. Their marinated herring appears on virtually every Swedish holiday table. The brand achieved something remarkable, becoming inseparable from Swedish food culture itself. Here's the corporate reality. ABBA Seafood was acquired by Volvo in 1981. Then Orkla purchased ABBA from Volvo in 1995. In 2014, ABBA merged into Orkla Foods Sverige. When you buy ABBA herring today, you're purchasing from a Norwegian-owned conglomerate that operates in mining heritage, chemicals, and various industries far removed from Swedish fishing traditions. Production still happens in Kungsholm on Sweden's west coast. Real facilities, real workers, real fish processing. The company emphasizes MSC certification. These aren't empty claims, but ABBA operates as one brand within Orkla's massive portfolio alongside Felix Ketchup, Callie's Caviar, and Grandiosa frozen pizzas. The cultural authenticity is genuine historically, but corporatized operationally. ABBA commands premium positioning, often 20–30% above store brands. Yet Orkla also produces many store brands through the same facilities. Consumers choosing between ABBA and budget alternatives may be choosing between the same fish with different labels. The Swedish cultural treasure belongs to a Norwegian corporate portfolio. The 186-year heritage now serves shareholder value optimization. Is this wrong? That's a values question each consumer answers differently. Number 1. King Oscar. The crown jewel of Nordic seafood branding. Literally, King Oscar II of Norway and Sweden granted royal permission in 1902 for the Christian Bjelland Company to use his name and likeness on sardines. For 120 years, that royal endorsement has sold premium tinned fish worldwide. The king's portrait still appears on every can, connecting modern consumers to turn-of-the-century Scandinavian royalty. King Oscar dominates the premium sardine category in the United States, Australia, and Norway. They sell approximately 90 million cans annually across 16 markets. The brand represents Norwegian seafood tradition at its most recognized and commercially successful. Here's the ownership reality. King Oscar hasn't been Norwegian-owned for years. The brand changed hands multiple times through mergers and acquisitions. In 1981, 11 Norwegian canneries merged to form Norway Foods, which included King Oscar. Norway Foods was acquired by Rieber & Son in 1996. Then in 2014, Thai Union Group acquired King Oscar. Thai Union is a Thai multinational with revenues exceeding $3 billion. They own Chicken of the Sea in the United States, John West in the UK, and numerous other seafood brands globally. King Oscar's Norwegian heritage now belongs to Bangkok-based management. Here's where heritage branding becomes misleading. King Oscar's bristling sardines use fish caught in Norwegian fjords. That's true. But production moved to Poland in 2008. The company operates a modern facility in Gniewino, Poland, where Norwegian-caught bristling are processed and canned. International labeling laws require stating production country, so cans say, product of Poland. But marketing emphasizes Norwegian heritage, Norwegian traditions, Norwegian fjords. Consumers see the royal portrait and imagine Norwegian craftsmen hand-packing fish in a Stavanger cannery. The reality is Polish factory workers in a Thai-owned industrial facility. King Oscar defends this as standard practice. Fish are caught in Norway, transported on ice to Poland, processed using traditional methods including oak wood smoking and hand-packing. The Norwegian fishing heritage is genuine, only the factory location changed. But here's what Thai Union ownership means. Thai Union faced serious allegations about labor conditions in Thailand's fishing industry. In 2015, reports from the Associated Press and New York Times documented human rights violations among supply chain subcontractors. Workers reported being trapped at sea, sometimes for years. The company acknowledged problems and implemented reforms, earning recognition for improvement efforts, including developing a vessel code of conduct. King Oscar sources primarily from Norwegian waters, not Thai operations. The brand operates relatively independently from Thai Union's more problematic supply chains. But consumers should understand their dollars flow to a corporation that faced slavery allegations in other operations. King Oscar commands premium prices based on heritage and royal branding. A 3-pack runs about $13. Store-brand sardines cost 60% less. The taste difference is real but subtle. You're paying for brand heritage, not fundamentally superior fish. The bristling sardines are genuinely excellent. Spratus from Norwegian waters offers delicate texture and mild flavor. The oak wood smoking creates distinctive taste. Hand packing ensures attractive presentation. Each fish is placed individually in the can, a level of care that justifies some price premium. But Norwegian tradition since 1902 now means Thai ownership, Polish production, and global supply chain optimization. The heritage is real. The current reality looks nothing like what it suggests. So where does this leave Nordic fish consumers? 7 brands spanning tiny Copenhagen startups to massive Thai-owned multinationals. Heritage claims from 1838 to 2018. Production in Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Norway, Poland, and Latvia. Prices ranging from a couple dollars to $60 per serving. What patterns emerge? First, corporate consolidation dominates Nordic seafood. Orkla controls multiple major brands. Thai Union owns the most recognized name. Family-owned increasingly means industrial-scale operations with family governance rather than artisan production. Small independent producers exist, but struggle for shelf space against corporate marketing budgets. Second, production has globalized while branding stays local. Norwegian fish processed in Poland. Danish brands canned in Latvia. Swedish heritage products owned by Norwegian corporations. The local fishing village imagery decorating packages rarely reflects actual production geography. Third, Baltic Sea contamination affects almost everything. Dioxins and PCBs from decades of industrial pollution persist in fatty fish. Regulatory exemptions allow continued sale despite contamination levels that would prohibit the same fish from other waters. Health authorities provide guidance that marketing materials minimize or ignore entirely. Fourth, price premiums often buy branding rather than quality. The fish in premium tins frequently comes from the same waters and processing methods as budget alternatives. You pay extra for packaging design, brand heritage, and consistent quality control. Those have value, but not always the value that premium prices suggest. What should consumers buy? For traditional Nordic tinned fish at reasonable prices, King Oscar and Abba deliver consistent quality despite corporate ownership realities. Accept that heritage branding diverges from current operations and enjoy products that taste good regardless. For genuine small producer seafood, Fangst offers real artisan positioning despite contract manufacturing. Their sustainability commitments appear genuine, and their recipes are distinctive. For Baltic specialties like surströmming, any major brand delivers authentic experience. Rhoda Ulven and Oscars both produce genuine fermented herring following centuries-old methods. Choose based on availability and price. For health-conscious consumers, prioritize Atlantic or Pacific waters over Baltic sources. Look for younger, smaller fish, which accumulate fewer contaminants. Norwegian fjord-caught bristling represent cleaner sourcing than Baltic herring regardless of brand. 7 brands, billions in corporate revenue, centuries of heritage claims, contaminated waters, globalized production, premium prices for commodity products. This is Nordic seafood. Beautiful packaging wrapped around complicated realities. Royal endorsements funding Thai corporate profits. Swedish traditions owned by Norwegian conglomerates. Danish artisan brands manufactured in Latvia. The fish tastes fine. The traditions remain culturally meaningful. The health concerns are manageable with appropriate limits. But the pure Nordic heritage, those elegant tins, suggest disappeared into corporate consolidation years ago. Now you know what's actually in those cans and who profits when you buy them. If this investigation opened your eyes, imagine what we found investigating another popular European food category. Check out the video on screen. It might be the very food sitting on your table right now. Thanks for watching.